I've read hundreds of books on everything from building habits and improving mindset to building businesses and the psychology of money, you name it. But let me be very straightforward with you. Most of the things that you will read in these books are completely useless. So let me save you the thousands of hours that I've spent on reading in my teenage years and share the 19 books that changed my life completely and made me be able to build a life where I can now travel around the world, run an agency, manage my finances, etc., etc. And the first book on this list is The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. Everything starts with understanding yourself and the world around you. I remember it very well. When I was 15, 16 years old, I started reading these self-development books and it opened up a complete new world to me. And this is where this first book comes to place. In this book, the author, Vishen Lakhiani, tells what you can achieve in life when you have the right mindset and use the right way of goal setting. It explains how fear impacts your potential, the importance of structure and a balanced life. I personally was raised in a very small village in the Netherlands with not a lot of mind-like people around me. So books like these made me be able to look into the minds of successful and inspiring people. It completely shifted my view on life and made me be able to aim higher and set bigger goals as a kid who was just in college at that time. Now, before I move to the second book, it's important to know that you have a lot of different books that are relevant for different phases in your life. You have books about improving skills, mindset, psychology, business, finances, investing, mindfulness, religion, etc., etc. But today, out of these hundreds of books, I will share the books that changed my life based on different phases in my life. I categorized my list, starting with the books that I've read as a student with no knowledge and no money, all the way up to where I am today, running multiple businesses and projects. Now, the second book that I've read very early in my journey is Awaken the Giant Within from Tony Robbins. This book beautifully illustrates that most people get caught up in their current events, fears and challenges. They jump on the river of life without ever deciding where they want to end up. And it's true, most people are just going with the flow without ever realizing their full potential. They become part of the mess of people who are directed by the environment instead of their own values. And to break free and take control of your own life and your future, it's important to create a clear and inspiring vision for yourself. You need to eliminate limiting beliefs and build faith. And these first two books were essential for finding myself, developing my dreams and goals, and understanding the world and the possibilities around me. And then when you have a more clear vision, it's important to start working and developing your skills, mindset, and character in order to achieve this. And I can tell you that this is literally the fundament of your future. I mean, having big dreams is good and important to begin with, but without the required skills, mindset, and character, you will never get there. One of the most important things I realized very quickly was the fact that I still had a lot of bad habits which I needed to get rid of in order to grow in life. And not only getting rid of bad habits I had, but also replacing them with better habits related to my goals. And it's very easy to say, oh, I'll do that later. I have a whole life in front of me. But this is one of the most dangerous statements that you can make when you're young. I say this very often and I'll keep saying it. Everything that you do today and tomorrow and the day after will determine where you will end up in the next upcoming few years. So if you eat junk food and never exercise, probably in a few years you will be very unhealthy. Whereas if you choose to fitness, work on yourself and focus on maintaining a healthy diet, you will have higher chances of being healthy, energized and fit in a few years. And this counts for everything in life. Your career, your finances, your relationships, your business, everything. So you can have big dreams and a clear vision, but your daily habits are crucial and will determine if you will make it. Atomic Habits is one of the best books I've read in order to understand and improve this for myself. This book shows you why it's so hard to stay consistent, how bad habits sneak into your daily life and influence you without you even realizing it. I mean, statistics don't lie. Studies have shown that more than 60% of the people already give up on their New Year's resolutions and fall back to their old patterns in the first 3 months after setting them. And although it might sound crazy, changing your behavior and daily routines is pretty hard. This book made me realize that it's not necessarily because of you, but mainly because of the distractions in your environment that causes a lack of focus and productivity. For example, having your phone laying next to you when you try to work, having a fridge filled with unhealthy food when you actually try to lose weight, having negative influences and other people around you, and so on. In order to change your daily habits, you need to make your good habits obvious, easy, attractive, and satisfying, and your bad habits harder to repeat by changing your environment and the association that you have with them. When it comes to achieving your goals, you need to realize that you're in control. You are the only one that is responsible for your own behavior, mistakes, and achievements. The book No Excuses from Brian Tracy made me realize that self-discipline is the key factor for success in life. When I opened up this book, all chapters were called the same: self-discipline and character, self-discipline and family, self-discipline and health, self-discipline and business, self-discipline and money, self-discipline and love, and so on. In every single topic of life, you should take 100% responsibility. Whether you're a student, an employee, an entrepreneur, business owner, this book offers some of the most effective techniques to help you break free from your current excuses and start living the life that you really want. And I know it's very easy to blame others: your teacher for not helping you, your boss for not giving you that promotion, your parents for the way they raised you up as a kid, but you should focus on what you can control, not on what's outside of your control. And once I improved my daily routines and my habits and realized the importance of self-discipline and consistency, I started with my first little freelancing business at the age of 16 years old. At that time I was still studying graphic designing, and I tried to build my little business on the side. The first book that I read about business in this phase was Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, one of the most popular and famous books for beginners. This is a book that you see all over the place on social media and all of these self-help YouTube videos, but it's a good book for the fundamentals, the psychology and the mindset of doing business. It's about how to turn your burning desire into material outcomes and building wealth. Napoleon Hill, the writer of this book, dedicated his life to researching the successful people in his time, answering questions like what is the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, and what do they do differently? How do they spend their time and work on their goals? It's a really good book for people who are interested or about to start with business. But books that I would recommend in this phase as well, that go a little bit more in depth, are books like Your Next 5 Moves from Patrick Bet-David, The Lean Startup from Eric Ries, or 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel. These books go more in depth on how to prepare yourself and start and scale your business in the most efficient way. One of the most important things I realized after I was in business for like 1 or 2 years was that it's actually about these 3 things. 1, create the right product or service, like what makes you special and stand out from your competitors. 2 is setting up the right systems. You will never be able to scale if you don't build processes and systems that work for you. And 3, finding and training the right people, because you can't do it alone. And when you want to do that, to build better systems and optimize your product or service, I'm a big fan of the 2 books of Alex Hormozi, $100 Million Offer and $100 Million Leads. He perfectly illustrates how to create a good offer and market it in the best way. And to be honest, I literally started as a freelance graphic designer, reaching out to people and offering them my designing services, like designing logos, posters and flyers, but I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have any unique selling points to stand out from my competitors, no clear processes for delivery and payment structures, or marketing strategies to find any clients. And of course, you learn a lot by experience, and probably it's your best teacher. But these books helped me a lot to improve my services and set up effective systems. And now, when speaking about systems, a book that is also interesting to read is The 4-Hour Workweek from Tim Ferriss. He explains how he runs his $1 million company by just working 4 hours a week. And I don't think the goal should be to work 4 hours a week when you're just starting out, but it gives a perspective on what's possible when you outsource most of your tasks and build effective systems and structures in your company. They always say it's about working smart, not hard. But when you do both, when you work smart and work 70+ hours a week, you will get to another level, trust me. Now, once you start making some money, it's important to know how to deal with finances and start investing. Books like The Psychology of Money, The Intelligent Investor, or Why the Rich Are Getting Richer start to become more interesting to read in this phase. And let me tell you one thing. Saving money is one of the most stupid things that you can do once you start making some good profits. But recklessly spending your money might be even more stupid. So it's important to know what to do in this phase. These books explain the importance of investing, the impact of inflation, the game that the rich play to increase their wealth. And so far, we have covered most part of my journey, from starting without any knowledge to understanding the world and the possibilities, improving habits, building businesses, and all the way up to managing finances. But what I noticed for myself, the deeper I got into this journey, the busier and more chaotic my life started to become. A lot of pressure, responsibilities, money, ups and downs, a lot of people that want something from you, etc., etc. And whatever path you choose in life, I would recommend anyone to take time for reflection, mindfulness, and the spiritual side of life as well. Trust me, it's easy to lose yourself in the process when you don't pay attention to this aspect of your life as well. And you have a lot of books for this, like The Power of Now, Good Vibes, Good Life, or The Things That You Can Only See When You Slow Down. And these are all good books that I've read. But for me, I found out that there's just one book that covers all of these aspects of life. One book that gives me direction, purpose, and rest between the hard work and chaos. And probably some of my true followers out there already know which book I'm talking about. The Holy Quran. This book I unfortunately found later in my journey. About 2-3 years ago, I started reading it and it blew my mind. It talks about everything from health, marriage, and family to the power of prayer, meditation, gratefulness, and the purpose of mankind. And whether your beliefs, I would recommend everyone to read some religious books in some phases of their life. It provides more direction, structure, and clarity. I came to realize that life is just a test, and it's up to you on how you deal with it. And not only how you deal with stress, hardship, losses, mistakes, and things like that, but also the things like victory, money, wealth, love, etc., etc. Because trust me, once you achieve the things you really want, God doesn't stop testing you. Once He gave you what you worked so hard for, the test might become even more difficult. Like they say, more money, more problems. How are you going to spend your wealth? How do you deal with the pressure? Everything like that. So it's good to keep learning and reading, no matter where you are in life. And after spending thousands of hours reading these hundreds of books, these 19 were most beneficial in my journey so far.